This series really knows how to hit you in the feels. Yo, what's up everyone? TreyMel1 here. Welcome back to another review of Pokémon Journeys episode 30. This episode right here, I've seen a lot of mixed opinions on Twitter, but personally, I really did enjoy it. I remember when we first got the summary, I was like, okay, this seems a little odd, but I'm interested. And in the preview, I was like, oh, this is just going to be some comedic filler episode. But the actual thing, oh my goodness, I got so much to say about this episode. It truly was amazing. For starters, we won, everyone. Just last week, I was like, let's make the hashtag bring Oshawott to Galar. And what I meant by Galar was, the Pokemon Journeys anime. Technically, I know it's not in Galar, but we won, guys. There's Oshawott right there in the card. This is not edited. To all my folks in the Poke Chat, we're slowly getting closer to Satoshi Mizumaru. Keep posting that hashtag bring Oshawott to Galar, hashtag Poke Chat, guys, for me. But yeah, let's go to get right into the review. For one, I just got to start off with the continuity. I love the continuity this series has. This trainer from the Ash versus Pisces battle returned, one of the judges, and I'm just like, wow, like the attention to detail that this series pays attention to. It feels like we're getting closer and closer to seeing the actual Lieutenant Surge himself, which I believe will possibly be Ash's next battle to rank up into the Ultra Ball League. That is a good possibility. But Riolu wins his first World Championship battle, and Ash is all focused on it. Like, let's keep doing some more training, Riolu. Pikachu's like, yeah, let's do it, but Ash kind of ignores Pikachu, and I just thought this one scene was weird where Ash was like asking Riolu, okay, who you want to battle next? Rielu's just like, Riolu. And he's like, oh, Dragonite. Like, I'm like, wait, you understood that? Them aura powers coming in, guys. They coming. But I thought that in the preview, Pikachu was just being a brat because he wanted to battle. But Ash actually is at fault here where all day, Ash was like, all right, Pikachu, you're next. But then Riolu's like, no, let's keep training. And to the point where they spent the whole day training Riolu. Ash comes back to talk to Pikachu and it's like, oh, you're sleeping. I can't use you in battle if you're just going to act like this. Which was really messed up of Ash to say because Pikachu has been trying to get his attention that whole day, but Ash was just like, Riolu. Delia actually comes back as well, which I'm really glad to see that Delia is visiting Ash. That's one thing I loved about Sun and Moon was that Delia actually came to Alola, so I'm glad to see she's back again. And she begins to give Pikachu a bit of comfort, saying, you'll always be special in Ash's heart. This is where Go actually asks, how did Ash and Pikachu meet? And Delia ends up telling the story, which I'm glad that Go is starting to ask questions about Ash. I'm really looking forward to when he finds out Ash is a champion. Also, I love that Chloe's hanging with the group. Like, you can really see the change in her character, where in the first few episodes, she was like, you two are weird and didn't want to hang around Ash or Go. But in last week's episode, this week's episode, and what looks like next week's episode, Chloe's actually hanging out with Ash and Go. Even, making jokes like, Ash is, that's classic Ash, always ready for battle. Like, I'm glad that she's gotten more comfortable with Ash and Pikachu, even wanting to check on Pikachu's feelings. The scene that really got me to know, like, oh, snap, this episode isn't, some slapstick episode, or isn't going to be like, it isn't just a joke. Like, this is a serious and very important episode, was when Pikachu, instead of going to go sleep with Ash, actually goes to sleep with Delia, and Delia sings this nice, soothing song that she actually ends up saying that she used to sing to Ash when he was very young and used to sleep with her. I just got to say, I love this scene so much. Please, everyone, I do recommend you check this episode out. I will admit Pikachu was out of character for a few bits and pieces, but the overall enjoyment that you'll get from watching this episode is very nice and heartwarming. Like the tone that they set for the next day when Delia was getting ready to head back to Pallet Town, it was freaking all gray, and I was like, oh no, this is giving me flashbacks. But, Delia was just leaving, and we could just see the disappointment in Pikachu's face because, Delia is Ash's mom, so of course Pikachu's gonna have a bond with Delia just as much as Ash, and Delia's always shown to like Pikachu more than Ash throughout the series. So yeah, this scene right here got me. And once again, Ash is like, come on, Riolu, we'll go train. Pikachu tries to get Ash's attention one more time, like, come on, man, you've been training Riolu all this time. And Ash is like, Pikachu, wait your turn, like it's Riolu's time. But in reality, Pikachu has been waiting all this time, which this makes it run away. Which it also makes me wondering, this episode should have happened in X and Y when Greninja was taking up all the screen time. But I guess I don't know. It couldn't really work then because we're in Kanto. He can come back to Delia, but yeah, I don't know. It was just interesting how Pikachu got so jealous over Riolu so quickly. Even Chloe mentions that Yamper that just happened to Yamper recently. So I like the continuity that the series has been having. Luckily, Mr. Mime noticed that Pikachu was leaving and decides to go with it. And this is where their adventure begins. Where I gotta say, the animation in these scenes were really nice. And the music as well. Playing the theme that played in the first episode where Pichu evolved into Pikachu. This series has already made me like Mr. Mime so much more than I would have before. Like, I never really cared for Mr. Mime. Detective Pikachu made him really hilarious. And this episode right here just really made Mr. Mime such a great character. Seeing how much it cared for Pikachu. Like, I already loved Mr. Mime from episode 7 when we got to see a battle for the first time. And I just seeing just how much it cares for, Ash's Pokemon. Like, this is one of Ash's Pokemon too, technically. So, I'm really loving what they're doing with Mr. Mime. And I'm glad that it's a stable in the series. I do hope we get to see more battles of it. And just this overall adventure that it went on with Pikachu was wholesome. We also get some really nice references in this episode as well. For example, we see the same split from Pallet Town and Pewter City that we saw at the end of Diamond and Pearl. Now, it does look a little different because I remember there was like some rocks in the background. But I feel like this is supposed to reference that same break where Ash, Misty, and Brock left, and also where Ash and Brock split ways when Brock went to Pewter City and Ash went to Pallet Town. And Pikachu, for the most part, while it was being a brat, was still pretty in character and pretty mature. For example, when Mr. Mime was carrying the hungry Pikachu, we get to see Pikachu start to feel bad for Mr. Mime and offers to help Mr. Mime out by lending it its tail. Kind of like even back when it was a Pichu, when it was starting to get too heavy for the Kangaskhan's, it decided to, hop out of the Kangaskhan belly and go on its own. But I just really love that scene so much. It was very wholesome. But the biggest moment in this episode and the best part was the Spearows, a recreation of episode 1. Pikachu basically got some food. Spearow came and took the food from it. And Mr. Mime got the food back, but the Spearows all came after Mr. Mime. This is where we get this amazing, wholesome recreation of Pikachu jumping on Mr. Mime's shoulder to do this ultimate thunderbolt, just like I did in episode 1. And they made a huge emphasis on this as well. Even when Pikachu realized the hurt Mr. Mime on the ground, this is where it realized, oh snap. This same moment right here is the reason why me and Ash became so close and went on all the adventures that we've been through. I truly gotta say, Pokemon Journeys is a great, nice little reward for all the old time fans. Yeah, I know they're trying to promote this for new fans too, but just for those who watched from the original series to now, or even if you're like me who started in Diamond and Pearl and went back to watch some of the old episodes, like, this is just such a nice, heartwarming moment. Like, I love all the callbacks that the series has been doing, along with telling a new story as well. Like, it's such an amazing reward for all those old time fans. And in the end, Mr. Mime and Pikachu's adventures come to a close as they head back to Ash's house. And funny thing is, Pikachu just thought about it, like, you know what? I'm going back to Ash. This whole adventure they went on, just for this moment to happen, caused them to be like, never mind, let's go back to Vermilion City. I was like, what the heck? And thankfully, Ash was actually there. Like, he was at home. He said, I knew I could find you here, and realized that he messed up. I also love that they mentioned Chloe also was the one who scolded Ash. Was like, you should have been paying attention to Pikachu's feelings. Like, I'm just loving how much Chloe, because think about it. In episode 1 or episode 2, Chloe just sees Ash get electrocuted and just kind of eases on by him. But you can truly start to see that she does now care for Ash and Pikachu. Even scolding Ash about leaving Pikachu like that and checking on Pikachu as well. Like, I'm really hoping she joins the main group. Also, Sobble's here as well, which makes it seem like Sobble will be the new shoulder Pokemon for Go. And I do wonder, will they do a jealousy episode for Reboot maybe in the future? Who knows? But the episode basically ends off with, Delia comforting Ash and Pikachu like, oh man, you shouldn't have run away, Pikachu, but we're glad to have you back. And Ash and Pikachu recreating the scene that Delia and Pikachu did in the beginning of this episode of Ash singing the song to Pikachu and Pikachu singing along with him in this very nice, wholesome scene. And in the end, Delia and Mr. Mime tucks these two in bed. And the narrator just says this really nice moment like, yeah, like, we don't know if Pokemon dream, but let's just hope that they keep on going on these amazing adventures with their partners. And I can see where some people wouldn't like this episode because of how Pikachu was acting. But me personally, I gotta say this was one of the best episodes in Pokemon Journeys. Like, they have some amazing battle episodes, but also they're nice, heartwarming, or just like serious type of episodes are really nice as well to watch. Like, I just love the whole thing of Pikachu getting mad and, you know, just the whole recreation and just everything. It was so perfect. And it was truly nice to see Delia get some more character and growth. Where, since Sun and Moon, Delia has started to make more appearances and, you know, actually be a mother to Ash. So I'm really liking that in this episode too. We get Delia and Pikachu moments, because we don't really get too much of those without Ash. So just seeing that the series has took so much time out their way to do this was just so wholesome and amazing. Also, Go is in Ash's room. So, man, it's just, I don't know. It's so crazy to think that Go could have possibly seen all of Ash's awards, but they didn't show it at all, sadly. And it's just like, oh man, like I guess I get we gotta wait for Go to see the big reveal. Maybe it's gonna be when Ash returns to Alola, he finds out about the championships. And I assume he probably didn't see any of his old Pokemon either, because it seems like they stayed in Delia's home, sadly. But man, I'm just really hoping that Go sees all of Ash's old Pokemon and just all the things he's done. Overall, I gotta say this was a great episode. It wasn't a copy and paste of Bye Bye Pikachu. It was its own original plot. And even with having another Jealousy episode back to back, they still found a way to make this episode very impactful and heartwarming. In the comment section down below, let me know what y'all think of this episode. I'd love to hear. I know Pikachu may have been out of character a bit, but it doesn't ruin the overall experience and heartwarming feeling that this episode gives. I really recommend that you all check it out. Thank you all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. TreyMail1. Peace out.